Good evening, everybody. Welcome again to Visually Speaking. I am Kyle,
And I'm Devon.
and today, WrestleMania being around the corner, we decided to do a WWE special talking about wrestling all the way up to WrestleMania for this year, things going on with wrestling, and see where things go from there. So, uh, with WrestleMania around the corner, how are you feeling about uh, WrestleMania period, the card itself, the matches for it?
As far as what I know about it now, I'm excited personally, and I'm kind of intrigued because even though we know what some matches that are happening, it's still a lot that we don't know about, which I do like. I do like the unpredictability of it.
Yeah, I think Triple H has been doing pretty good being head creative now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been doing good at adding some unpredictability as well as making non-title matches feel important
Yeah,
on the card instead of just uh, using them as filler matches, as bathroom break matches,
right.
concession stand. I know for me, one of my personal things when it came to wrestling was there was so much diversity when it came to what was on pay-per-views. It was almost like every match on the card felt like it had a purpose being there,
Yeah,
even if it didn't, because I was also young back then, so I probably would have known better. But but when I was very serious on it way back then, it felt like it belonged. Like the match had a purpose to being on there.
like it was a reason for me seeing it. Right.
Exactly. So to kind of get that feeling back, even if it's like a minuscule up to this point, it feels like a really good breath of fresh air. Is there you got a match that you are excited for out of all of them?
I want to say that triple threat with Roman, Seth, and CM Punk.
Like everybody else,
Right. Mainly because like it's one of those things where you kind of saw it coming when they started like setting up at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
When they all started fighting outside, especially that double stump to the head.
Yeah. I really thought he tried to kill.
I was like, yeah.
I really thought he tried to end that man.
It's finna be a match at Mania. I was like, yeah. I was excited for it when I saw it, but it's also one of those things where even though we know it's coming, I'm still enjoying the ride.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like predictability is a bad thing?
No, it's not always a bad thing because sometimes that predictability, sometimes you want to see it.
True.
So even when you can predict things you want to see, that's a plus.
Yeah. I do know, especially with the IWC going around, they always talk about how predictable something is, and because it's predictable, they like nobody wants to see it. I'm like, hold on. I kind of still want to see it.
Right.
Like, even if the story is predictable, I still want to see these two go at it.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion. I really do want to see Rollins and Roman have a one-on-one.
Yeah, that's where I thought they were going at first.
I thought they were too, and just let Punk have another match that he can build off of. But with Punk kind of being the progenitor, or the catalyst for the creation of the Shield, I'm totally cool with him being involved with it.
Yeah, I was just about to say that too. That's another reason why I wanted to see it, because that's like the closest thing we will get to a Shield triple threat.
Yeah, that's the closest. It's the closest we got. I don't think Moxley's coming back. At least no time soon.
Yeah, no time soon. By the time he comes back, they're probably not even gonna think about it as much.
Or if anything, they'll probably be like all water on the bridge at that point.
Yeah.
So, oh man, but Punk being able to main event WrestleMania is awesome. I had forgotten he never main evented WrestleMania for as long as he held the title.
It's kind of a crime at that point.
Yeah.
Like, he has like the third longest reign in the modern era, and he's never main evented once.
Not once.
Even as champion.
Not once. That's crazy to me. And I hate saying this, but it's the WWE title that he held. It's the title that it's like the company style. That's what they viewed as the top title.
Yeah.
And you still won't have that title main event WrestleMania. I don't know. Now, granted, they've done it before, where they've had the big title matches that you would think would be main evented, not main event. Like it would be maybe at the top of the card, or probably like the semi-main event. But I don't know. For me personally, I feel like the world title, whether it's women's or whether it's men's, it's got to be the main event,
Right.
especially on a WrestleMania. Like that's like Super Bowl. Like you gotta have the richest prize at the main event. So I don't know how do you feel about that? Because I believe I'm gonna say this is rumored. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently Jay, who won the Royal Rumble of this year, is not gonna main event WrestleMania against Gunther for the World Heavyweight title.
I'm kind of on the fence about it because like even though like it kind of like defeats the purpose of saying the winner main event is WrestleMania if you're not going to main event. But they also try to flip it saying that it's for the title, so it's a main event anyway. But no, we all know the main event is the last
Literally.
match. So it's like, it's one of those bittersweet things, which I want to see him win, but it still probably won't hit as hard as it could.
Because it's not in the last.
Yeah, he's not closing the show.
Yeah. Wait, so who's closing night 2 then?
I would assume Cena and Cody, since they have, like you said earlier, the company's title. And
what?
And then when I think about it, that kind of like makes the world title look kind of weak in some people's eyes.
It kind of makes it look kind of weaker. Yeah. You have the Royal Rumble winner who solidified his spot in WrestleMania not take the main event spot.
Right.
That's very strange. Now, I do know there have been times where the title has not been in the main event, and I've simply because the story was more captivating somewhere else. And I feel like that may be the reason if that does happen, especially with Punk, Rollins, and Reigns. You know, all of them being confirmed to be main eventing WrestleMania now, and all of them with the star power that all three of them share. Yeah, that in itself, just in conversation alone, is a main event worthy match.
Yeah.
So I can see that happening. I don't really want that to happen because it just, for me, right, it just takes away the whole aspect and the purpose of being a Royal Rumble winner. As far as I'm aware, growing up, when you win the Royal Rumble, you are guaranteed a main event WrestleMania match against the champion. You are it's locked. Like you're locked in. You're in WrestleMania. You're main eventing. You're closing the show, and you're going against the champion. Whether you win or lose, you get the opportunity.
Yeah.
But apparently, I don't know if this is true. So Grandest all speculation, whatever. But apparently, that's not the case. It's just you just get your chance at the world title at WrestleMania.
I mean, in that case, they should just say that instead of emphasizing the main event portion.
Yeah.
Like you understand, like King of the Ring, they don't say you're going to main event at SummerSlam. They say you're going to get a title shot.
You're going to get a title shot at SummerSlam.
So
which is still good.
Yeah.
Which is still great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because you haven't told me you're main eventing, now I'm not expecting that. If it becomes main event, which would make sense to main event,
yeah,
great. But if it doesn't, okay, at least I'm not bothered by it because you're not telling me that. I mean, especially when you have commentary who does like all the talking. You have the promos that kind of supposed to help gravitate and lead you towards a certain direction. If you're telling me I'm under the impression that it's going to be in the main event, I'm expecting a main event world title shot. And then coming to find out it's not going to be a world title shot. Yeah, I'm going to be asking questions. I'm gonna be raising my eyebrows because like you told me this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So why not?
And then at that point, do you think How do you feel about the possibility of Charlotte not main eventing?
Because I said the Royal Rumble winner should main event, the same rules will have the same feelings would apply. She did win. I didn't want her to win. I'm cool with her winning because Charlotte is a phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, let's just go. Like, let me just nip that in the bud. Charlotte is a phenomenal wrestler. Her in-ring ability cannot be denied. I didn't want her to. I was pulling for somebody else, but that didn't happen. But because of the fact that she did win the Royal Rumble, she has earned the right to main event WrestleMania for the world title of her choice. So yeah, I do believe on both sides. WWE kind of dropped the ball on making sure the world title picture is secure for the main event spot. I do believe that.
Yeah. And I think, because you mentioned earlier about the whole story thing, the story being a factor of them possibly not main eventing.
Yeah.
I kind of can, well, I can't argue with that too much, I guess. Because especially if you have other matches that have a better story, like the possible triple threat with Rhea, Bianca, and Io. Even though they'll have a world title match too.
Yeah, that is very true. I thought, isn't it still just Io and Bianca?
It's so far, yeah, just Io, Bianca.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. Because we still got
like 2 weeks.
2 weeks, so we still got 4 shows left. Well, technically, we still have 2 shows each. So, yeah, it could be a triple threat. How do you want it to be a triple threat, or do you want to keep it a one-on-one?
I kind of don't mind either way. I feel like it'll be a good match regardless.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I really do want to see Io and Bianca go head-to-head. I think adding Rhea in there adds more controversy about who's going to win it. I think it definitely adds more unpredictability because how great Rhea is in the ring, as well as the chemistry between all three. Like, all three of them in the ring is going to be one heck of a match. No lie. But I also believe Rhea shouldn't really be in the match. I don't know. Like, I'm not on the Rhea hate train. I don't feel she's forced, but I don't know. I'm kind of torn if I want. I think in this space right now, I just want to see Io and Bianca themselves, and then let Rhea come in after. But it definitely makes sense because she just lost the title.
Yeah.
And honestly, in the most unpredictable fashion. I did not know she was going to lose that title that early.
Because I was under the impression we were going to get that dream match with Rhea Bianca.
I was under that,
and I was kind of ready for it, but I do like the curveball they threw with having Io win the title. So it was like, I wouldn't mind just seeing Io and Bianca, because at the same time, if you add Rhea to the match, why she lose the title in the first place?
Right. Exactly. But then again, that might be the swerve they wanted.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very curious though. I will say that feud definitely made me curious about how it's gonna turn out.
Yeah,
for sure.
If it is a triple threat, who you think should win?
Okay, so Io was the person I was going for the Royal Rumble. She was the one I'm shooting for. Now she already has the title. So in a way, I want her to retain, but I kind of want to see Bianca hold the World Heavyweight title above her head. I do want to see it.
I gotta say something.
Yeah, come on.
Behind the camera. But I feel with the whole situation with Sky and them bullying her around, I honestly feel like she should win the title. They do make it a triple threat.
You think so?
Like, they've been making her look weak.
And
just to prove herself, I feel like she deserves to win this, especially like the way that they've been kind of like looking over her and everything.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know how they did the whole Daniel Bryan story, but how they overlooked him in that triple threat with Batista and Randy.
Yeah,
I feel like it could play the same effect. in some way, because I feel like what makes Io so great is her ring work.
Yeah.
Even if her character's not all the way there, at least not with me. I don't know how other people feel.
Right.
But I like her ring work. So I definitely think she has a good chance to win. It'll be good for her too.
I think it'll be good for her too. But then that also leads into the question: who should take the pin? Who should eat the loss?
That'd be a hard one right there.
So, if Bianca takes the pin, that's gonna mess up her WrestleMania record, and she's currently 4-0 right now. Like even including the multi-women matches. I even pulled up the site. So in WrestleMania 37, that's when she had her first match against Sasha, now Mercedes Moné.
I remember that one.
Yeah, so she won that one, and then WrestleMania 38, she went against Becky Lynch. She won that one, so that's 2. Then WrestleMania 39, she went against Asuka, won that one. And then WrestleMania 40 was a 6-woman tag team match, and she won that one with Naomi and Jade. So, if she takes the pin, she's gonna be 4-1. And I don't know if they want to do that. I think it will be really cool if they reinvent the WrestleMania streak, but for Bianca this time.
Yeah, that will be a good look, especially for a black woman.
Oh yeah.
I don't think any, well, besides Asuka, but that was like a single streak overall. But a good WrestleMania streak for a woman, that'll be dope.
That'd be great, and it still works because Bianca is a workhorse of an athlete. She got the looks down, she got the talent down, she got the ability down. So it would make sense for her to keep that WrestleMania streak going. It doesn't even have to be there doesn't even have to be a mystique for it like the Undertaker has. Just no one can beat her at WrestleMania.
Like something for her to brag about.
Yeah. I think that would be dope. Really.
It will fit her moniker. Like she's the best at WrestleMania.
Truly the EST for sure. Yo, that's actually a good. Ooh, that's a great. That in itself is a story.
Because then not only does she like take over what the Undertaker had, she can take over what Shawn Michaels had. Being Mr. WrestleMania, she'd be Mrs. WrestleMania.
Mrs. WrestleMania.
So it's like there's a lot you can do with that. And I don't think they would want to mess up. They shouldn't mess that up.
I don't even know if they're even thinking that far ahead, to be honest with you. They should.
Yeah, they definitely should.
Oh man! Speaking of which, let's segue real quick to Jade and Naomi. Naomi got her heel turn. We finally figure out who attacked Jade. Poor Jade. Poor Jade. It turned out to be Naomi. Naomi was hurt because she felt replaced. How you feel about that story? Because that's happened at WrestleMania.
I feel like I like the idea of it, especially with Naomi turning heel. It gives her like a stronger character. It gives her opportunity to really show how good she is, not just in the ring but on the mic, personality wise. Because you always hear wrestlers say they like being heel because they can be themselves more.
Yeah.
So I feel like she could be more comfortable in that role.
She's a great heel. She's pretty darn good as a heel. And the wrestling ability that she has along with it, I think it's good for her. It's a breath of fresh air for her. It's a nice little reset, especially since her coming back from TNA and then in a way just eating L's in almost every match she's been in up to this point.
Right.
I have to say something about that. the fact, because I know that they're trying to build up Jade and everything, but I honestly, like, with everything that y'all saying, Naomi deserves this win. Like, this has been like the best that I've seen her on the mic. Her presence, even on the social media and everything, like it'll be a shame if she takes the L. Like if she does take an L in this, like it has to be in a heel way. Like her just going off on Jade to the point like she doesn't care that she's being disqualified or something like that. Like that's the only way that I can see her taking an L in this. Like she can't get a clean loss. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but yeah, like I understand that they're trying to build up Jade for that main event and everything, but this Naomi deserves.
She deserves a W.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Naomi deserves a win.
But I say, like what you said, if she does lose, she deserves to look strong and losing like a DQ. Like,
yeah.
Cause I feel like they could go the way they might be the best way to go because Jay just ate a loss against Liv Morgan not too long ago. So maybe they don't want her to lose too often, too soon.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like if anything, I could see them doing like a best out of 3 type thing. Like one wins a match here, the other one wins a match here. Or just keep going until they bring Bianca into it.
I could see that. But at the same time, you don't want to make Jade look like an unbeatable monster either. You still kind of like want to showcase some flaws to make her look more not equal, but more like she could still lose.
Right.
Like there are times where she could still lose. Now I do agree that Naomi absolutely should win. Mainly because of the fact she's been losing up to this point without by herself. And I think for this heel run to have weight, she definitely should win. I definitely think she should win dirty. That way it keeps Jade looking strong in Laws. I was also thinking maybe they could also make Jade look like just a tough wrecking machine. Even if she loses, she can still get up. She's struggling to her feet, but she's still up for a fight, and that could look good in a way. I don't know. I was trying to find different avenues to showcase loss and defeat, because I know nowadays it seems like if you lose, you're buried.
Right,
which is not always the case.
I hate that take. Just because you lose, it's part of the game. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. Everybody can't be undefeated.
No. I mean, it's supposed because we're in a sport of nothing but competitors, right? Sometimes the better person is gonna win.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't take away from you being great at what you do, or you being really good, or whatnot. You just happen to lose.
I know one thing you might hear if Jay loses at WrestleMania. They might compare her.
AEW. If it involves AEW, man.
They're going to bring up AEW, how they had her undefeated for a while. I think she was 15-0 at one point.
I think so. She had a good streak in AEW.
Yeah.
But I think she also went against a lot of jobbers too.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, hey, a win is a win.
Yeah.
A win is a win. Man, this whole tribalism thing gotta go.
Just enjoy wrestling.
Yeah, just enjoy wrestling. We are finally now at a point where everybody's enjoying all avenues of wrestling now. No one's really focusing on just WWE anymore.
Right.
We got more things to look at. We are in the wrestling fans really got it made right now. Really got it made.
You literally have something to watch every day of the week now.
Every day. You got Raw on Monday. You got NXT on Tuesdays. AEW on Wednesdays. Then you got...
I think TNA's still on Thursdays.
Is it?
If I'm not mistaken.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. So we'll say TNA's on Thursdays. Someone can correct us later.
But I haven't watched since 2010. But
I don't know if Lucha... Well, I think Lucha Underground might be on Thursdays. whenever they do have shows, it's on Thursdays.
Mm.
It might be. I'm not too sure. SmackDown on Fridays.
Yeah.
And then honestly, really get a break on the weekends.
Yeah.
Outside of a pay-per-view or PLE.
And I think AEW has Collision on Saturdays, or is it Friday night?
I think it's Friday night. I think it's Friday night because I remember it being like right after SmackDown. Either right after or like in like alongside SmackDown on Fridays.
Or is that Rampage?
That was Rampage.
Yeah, Rampage on Friday.
That was Rampage.
It's one of them.
It's one of them. Yeah, it's one of them for sure.
Somebody gonna cook us in the comments saying you don't know wrestling. But I do think, yeah, we're in a good spot as wrestling fans now.
Like we eat. Wrestling fans is eating.
All right, as far as other matches, we did talk about Flair. How do you think about her build with Tiffany?
Okay, I will give a little bit of favor because I haven't been watching these past few weeks, but based off what I've seen through clips when I go back and watch like the full segments, I don't know. It feels like it's not even important. The build's not even important. It's like they're not really trying. And I don't know, and I can't really blame Charlotte and Tiffany either, because like when you go out there, you gotta put your best out because it's live. It's not like you go out there and you can do as many retakes as possible.
Right.
You gotta give your best foot forward the first time. But I don't know, and this is kind of what I kind of wanted to do a deep dive in at some point, but it's about booking itself, where when you have control over booking, my thing is if you're going to make a story, then you should do whatever you can to make that story feel like it matters, whether it's for a title or not. And in a way, I feel like they're not really putting enough effort into booking this story. And now it's showing in broad daylight.
Yeah, you could definitely see there's a lack of chemistry between the two. Like, I don't know why that might be the case, but as far as what I've seen, like, that's how it's always been since it started. Especially like this past Friday with the personal jabs they do at each other that seemed unscripted.
That was that was so weird to watch. Charlotte having a high-pitched voice to mock Tiffany, that felt weird. That felt out of place. Her, in a way, it looks like she lost her cool to the crowd. That Tiffany even brought up, like, hey, your biggest threat is not anybody who's in the ring with you, it's them. It's all the fans. That's who your biggest enemy is. I was like, that felt personal. Though I can't really disagree with that. Because it seemed like nobody likes her at all, even though she's pretty good in the ring. And then Tiffany dropping the 0-3 line, which I found out they removed on YouTube, actually. That 0-3 line, that felt like a personal dig.
The crazy thing about that is that I had, right before that that segment, I had just watched the interview with Sherry.
Yeah.
And she went into how that whole time where she got injured and then the divorce was really hard on her, and how it affects her real bad when people compare her to her dad when it comes to marriages and everything. That's why when I first heard Tiffany say that, I was like, yo, that could not have been scripted.
That can't have been
because
scripted.
she just said that was a stinger for her.
Right.
So she could not have approved that, because like you could tell that it hurt her real bad that her marriages have not worked out. So I don't think she would have approved. Because I could tell she was really pouring her heart out and everything. But at the same time, like, Charlotte, for me, has not won me over. Like, I got upset when she won. Like, she just came back and she just won. Like, they just handed her everything. And she doesn't deserve it.
And they say 3 things are true about life: death, taxes, and Charlotte winning the match when she comes back.
I was like, where's Vince at? He must have been in the building at somewhere. I'm kidding, y'all. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Where? Well, I won't touch that. Even though we can, we'll probably do that on a bigger.
Say that for another time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to save that. That might be an episode itself.
Right.
I ain't gonna hold you. Wait. So I do know. Well, should we stay on Charlotte? Should we stay on Charlotte?
You can, yeah.
So I'm a fan of Charlotte as a wrestler. I'm definitely a fan of Charlotte as a wrestler. That girl can wrestle her butt off, for sure. Her character work, how they book her, I don't like. She does feel like, especially like when it comes to a title, it feels like she just has to be unbeatable.
Yeah. I feel like part of me feels like they're trying too hard to make her like her dad.
Yeah.
Like, you hear about a lot of the stories how a popular superstar, that child is not as good as them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even though it's true in her case, they trying to make it an effort to change that narrative.
Yeah. But didn't they already run that story though? Do we really have to circle back to you're not as good as your dad?
I feel like they shouldn't, because like it's like if anything, I'm willing, even though I'm not a fan of her, I'm willing to say she has to pretend to be better than Rick.
I think so too.
Especially in the ring, not just character work.
Because I know how old is she now?
I
think she's in her 30s now.
Yeah, I want to say in the 30s, if not approaching 40s.
And she can still wrestle like that. Like, she can go far. Like, if anything, I can see her getting up to 20 titles if we're talking about like in ring alone, and character wise alone.
I wouldn't mind that, to be honest.
I wouldn't either. At the same time, I don't want every chance she gets to add up the score.
The funny part, I feel like that started when she had that feud with Sasha Banks, Mercedes, and like every other week they were flopping the belt, like switching the belt to each other. That's what kind of annoyed me with Charlotte initially.
I think they did that same thing with Randy and John back in the day, where they kind of just like they just hot potato hands all the time. Like almost every passing pay-per-view or week, and I know back in the day in like an Attitude Era, the title changed hands consistently. And they changed hands frequently, like quickly. You don't really get that many. You don't really get long title reigns like we do now back then.
I feel like it's a good thing. They kind of like changed around. Some people might get a long reign, some might get a short reign, but I don't think it should be for what
every person.
Yeah, every person shouldn't have the same type of effect. And
I don't think everyone should have a 2-year title run either. I'm gonna be like unless your whole shtick is being a wrestling war machine, where really the only reason why you have it is because of the fact you can just strictly out wrestle anybody. Yeah, I don't think you should have a long title reign either. Well, I mean, the story also has to be captivating for that as well.
Yeah.
So, something I want to ask you, and Darnell, I'm gonna ask you too. What makes a champion to you? Is it how long he or she holds the title, or is it the number of times they won it?
I feel like it all falls on not only who it is, but also how they do it. Like, I don't want to see a title reign lasting more than a year and they only defended like once or twice, like how Brock Lesnar was.
Mm-hmm.
Like he only came around like 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And then you have title reigns like.
I gotta kind of disagree with that. While we're talking about that.
Let him play.
Okay.
Let him play.
Like I understand why they did it, like because they wanted to bring like a more realistic feel because he came from the UFC. Well, he was in the UFC, which I don't hate that either, but I feel like around that time they weren't really doing much while he was going. That's the only reason why I feel like it kind of fell short, but it kind of worked at the same time for him.
Okay.
And then I feel like I talked about with Charlotte, like the only reason she had so many reigns because she kept flipping with Sasha.
Yeah.
So having a lot of reigns over time is fine, but not in like having like 2 or 3 reigns in the same year, because like you just passing on and getting it back, which it could speak to how good you are. But it's how some people say, okay, you won this many times, but you also lost it this many times.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
So I feel like it depends on what the champion's doing while they have the title.
Okay. I don't know. What about you?
So I have to disagree with him about the Brock Lesnar thing, because
Really?
it brought significance to the title because you didn't actually see it all the time. In my opinion, because I think that's why some champions you get tired of them and everything, and the storyline doesn't capture you. But like when Brock Lesnar came, and the fact that you knew how dominant he was, and it brought some type of importance, and it made people mad. Sort of like with I'm gonna say Floyd Mayweather.
Okay.
Everybody buys his pay-per-views to watch that man lose. That's the main reason because they want to see him lose. So with Brock having the title, people wanted to see, even though like he was so dominant and he had the title, people hated him that much that they wanted to see him lose, and him coming every once in a while, the important pay-per-views, it brought that importance to that title. And it wasn't just like every time like you see the title on the pay-per-view. So it was a significance to it and everything. And like that's the main thing that I liked about Brock Lesnar. And honestly, like that's the main, cause like not to say that lawsuit isn't important and everything. And if he did what he did, like he should be punished. But like I hate the fact that he's no longer on the wrestling games and everything. But yeah, he was a dominant champion to me. He was a very dominant champion, and like ever since, like I won't even say the Undertaker. I would say that match with John Cena, Suplex City, the Suplex City match and everything, showing how dominant, how he just basically a person that was dominant, he had them like a rag doll.
Yeah.
Like that like put him at top tier right there. And the fact that he could just come in as a champion and just come whenever he wanted to. Like there's not a lot of wrestlers that could do that, and I'd be okay with it. But like his presence, like I was okay with it. So that's the only reason why I said I understand. Like some people like, oh, it's the title, it should be defended often, but he was just that special that he brought relevance to the title by not having it there all the time.
You got a response for that?
I don't really have a response. I feel like one thing I will say, I think for that time, people would have been less upset if, because I feel like the Universal title at the time had a bad rap anyway because it was new at the time. Even though his purpose was to like kind of elevate it, the fact that it was a new title, a lot of people didn't care about it, made it worse in their eyes. Had it been the WWE title, I feel like it could have been a different effect, maybe even better. Because the title's already been established. He's already been established as a champion, so kind of would have been a plus, in my opinion.
Not only that, given the fact that the Universal title at the time was a relatively new title, it probably would have benefited more by having more people or having it more on TV for people to fight for it. Because, like, let's be honest, like, how can I care as a viewer if you, as a wrestler, don't care about it? Yet at the same time, talk to me about it's supposed to be something held with high prestige. So I do think, in a way, it kind of got sabotaged with Brock Lesnar holding the title that long and not showing up. Though I do agree with the fact that because it's Brock Lesnar and him not showing up does add a bit of intrigue and prestige enough to make people want to see, okay, is he gonna lose this time? Because he built that attraction up. Well, him being Brock Lesnar was enough attraction itself. But given the fact that, one, the title didn't look great at all. It was literally just a WWE title with a red strap. It was awful. Given it to pretty good wrestlers who didn't have a long enough reign, or I would say not enough stories to make the Universal title to be something worth desired, and then you throw it on Brock Lesnar, who basically hightailed and didn't show up for who knows how long in between. I feel like it was probably good in theory, but poor in execution. Now, if we take the same aspect into someone like Roman Reigns, who held the title for almost pretty much over 2 years.
I think it was close. Well, as far as the Universal, close to 4, I believe.
Close to 4 years. And especially on the back end of the reign, where it got closer to the end, he started doing the same thing. He didn't show up. He had the title, but he didn't show up. And because of such, people had no title to fight for. So they made the World Heavyweight title. People would fight for that. But now, in a way, because Roman's still not showing up, you kind of made that title a sympathy title. A consolation prize, I guess that's the better terms to use. But in a way, I feel like it worked because of the character that Roman became. He kind of became like a mafia boss, to where he doesn't show up unless you became a big problem for him. So now he has no reason but to show up.
So you're kind of making my point for me too, like.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with your point.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you kind of saying the same thing. I would say that you were disagreeing, but the fact that, okay, so this title is shown all the time.
Yeah.
But I want that title that's not being shown.
But the biggest difference.
The fact that the person that has it too, and I think that's what you're about to say. People didn't care when Roman did it because of his storyline and everything. I
was also gonna say he's liked a lot more because of him as a person and him as a character. People liked him more, so they were more lenient with him doing it. Also, given the fact that he also ran through pretty much almost every other competitor who could realistically beat him.
That's why I give Brock's reign a little more grace, because, like you said, like Roman kind of did the same thing at some point. But I feel like what made Roman's reign more digestible, there was more to work with when he was going. Yeah. So that's not the issue of Brock. Is not Brock's fault. It was what the company was doing while he was going that made it a problem.
Now, I feel like that's probably the biggest thing to understand, like who's really at fault here. Because we are only able to digest what we see. We don't know what goes behind. We don't know what goes on behind that curtain. So we don't know like what the conversations were. We don't know if someone is saying no to certain things that's happening, but it just ends up becoming what it is. We only see what happens in the ring or on the stage or on the ramp or whatever. Whatever the camera allows us to see is what we see.
Yeah.
And that's all we have to go by. So yeah, it does look like sometimes like, oh, it's this person's fault because they always get it. It's like, no, that may not be the case. That may be people behind the scenes saying, we're gonna keep it on this person regardless what you say. And that's also kind of how I feel about Charlotte, but we won't go back. We won't backtrack on that. I also feel like Roman also elevated his opponents as well when it came to his title reign. Almost as if, like, even like once their matches ended, you still wanted to see what was going on with them. Versus with Brock, it's almost like, okay, it's another match he's gonna win, and then he's not gonna show up. Who cares?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of differences that you can like place between the two.
Yeah.
And then what's another ring? Like CM Punk's ring. I ain't gonna lie, I don't remember much from it.
He wrestled a lot. He wrestled a lot.
And that probably speaks to like Darnell's point, how the difference between a champion that's always there versus a champion that shows up when he feels like it or when it makes sense for him to show up.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. I don't think there's anything wrong with having different types of champions. I think that's what makes being a champion unique. Everyone has like their own personal identity with it. Like it would kind of be really boring if everyone is a fighting champion, right?
Yeah.
Or it would be boring if everybody wants to withhold the title as much as they want without defending it. It would be pretty boring if everybody's that way. So having people be different type of champions, I think, is what makes the reign unique. So, which I guess going back to my original question, for me, it's the reign. Like, yeah, you can win it, but keeping it tells a whole different story. But I also believe the stories that you're telling while you're champion matters as well. Because you can be someone who can hold a championship for a long period of time, but you can lose it because someone cheated. You can lose it by getting sneaked. And then so what story are we telling because of that? Like Kofi Mania, for an example. He put all this effort to getting to WrestleMania, going through all these obstacles to finally win it, have like a little bit of a reign, and then once Brock came in, he loses in 3 seconds. Or I think it was less than 3 seconds. And nothing came out of it. He didn't try to fight back for it, or at least we didn't. Based off what we've seen on camera.
Based on the show, yeah.
Based on the show, what we've seen on camera, this man has yet to try to say, hey, I was robbed out of 3 seconds. I want to have a really good reign. I want another chance to be champion again. Never seen it again. The story literally was right there in the pudding, and nobody took a scoop out of it.
I feel like it's one of those things where they gave him the title just to say, okay, you had your shot, you had your time.
I hope not. I hope that's not the case.
Which I feel like that's one reason why. Well, that was during Vince's era, but it's still like that's one of the reasons why they kind of like try to pick on Triple H when it comes to black wrestlers and black champions. Mm-hmm. But I don't fully get into that myself because I don't know. I just don't agree with that sentiment as much as everybody else might.
Really?
Cause I feel like I don't know. It's hard for me to speak on, but I don't really see it as much as people are saying it.
I guess. I mean, if you look at NXT, you can't make that argument. But then again, Sean is the one running that one, so.
Yeah, I was telling Darnell one day because I was watching some clips from NXT. Like they set up a triple threat with Javon Evans, Oba Femi, and Trick Williams.
Yeah. And
I was like, hey, they speaking to the narrative that Shawn Michaels is a better booker when it comes to black people than Triple H.
Yeah.
I was like, if that's what they saying, like, it's hard not to see that at the same time.
It kind of is. I think I've also been seeing Shawn using kind of like older storylines and revitalizing them and putting them into current NXT now.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. I gotta watch more. I have to watch more NXT. Tuesdays is just not a good day for me to watch TV, man. But I definitely know the product at NXT has always been different. It's a breath of fresh air for sure. I don't know if they're still I think they're still using it as a training development brand, but I think it's kind of gotten to a point where it can be a third brand for WWE. Yeah. If they're not treated as such already.
Yeah, especially since they have their partnership with TNA.
Yeah.
It's definitely getting to a point where they have their own identity versus just being developmental.
Yeah, for sure. Which I have to ask, where is Nick Nemeth? For those who don't know, Nick Nemeth is Dolph Ziggler, the best seller in the industry.
As far as matches, like as far as build-ups being worth like talking about, the one I care about the least is the AJ Styles and Logan Paul. Even though I love AJ, like he's one of my favorite. He's one of the best in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I just don't care about the match, even though I know it's gonna be good. But
AJ can make any match good. I'm a firm believer that if you have AJ in a match, he's gonna make it worth something for sure.
Yeah.
Now, I also love AJ. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, but I'm also not really looking forward to this match. Not because of anything specific. It just hasn't really caught my intrigue like that. I guess not to the same extent that other matches have. Like even the Jacob Fatu LA Knight match, my eyes not really been on it. At the same time, I also have to give grace because I haven't really been watching much of the shows these past few weeks.
I'm only looking forward to that because I hope Jacob wins. I'm a big Jacob fan. Like even before he came to the WWE,
okay,
I paid attention to him a little bit. So I do want to see him win because I just want to see him like prosper because I feel like he can be that character that they try to do with Solo.
Yeah. Funny enough, it seems like that they just swap places. in a sense, they just swap places. Like I don't even know what's going on with Solo right now.
Like I don't know either, because especially after the whole Tribal Chief era that he went through.
Yeah.
It's kind of like he's trying to like find his place, but he's kind of also losing respect from Jacob.
In a way.
And Tama just chilling in the background.
Oh, I don't know. I think it will really be interesting to see Jacob win the title, just so I can see what happens with the bloodline.
Yeah, that will be interesting. I could see Solo being jealous. Even if he's not being jealous, I could see that being some type of program between him and Jacob, which will be interesting to see because they both had that similar character to like an Umaga.
Yeah.
That like they're both being like destructive. So if he can get Solo back in that bag, that'll be good to see. Now
I know when Solo was in NXT, he was kind of more like the lone wolf type wrestler. Because if I remember correctly, he was running off of the shtick of, I have two brothers who are already here and they left me behind. I have a cousin who's here, they left me behind. I'm on my own, so I must stay on my own. And you're just gonna reap what y'all sow. Everyone's gonna reap what they sow just because. I kind of want to see that on the main roster. But I don't know how that's going to work because he has the bloodline with him.
I could see that happening. Because like for a while, like especially when he came back after losing to Roman, he was gone for like maybe like 2-3 weeks. So when he came back, that's what kind of started that tension between him and Jacob. Like Jacob was like, I don't Jacob's starting to lose trust in Solo.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Do you think that's the direction they're gonna go with?
I could see it going that way. Because like they've been like arguing back and forth over the past few weeks. Like before the match with Strowman, I think he was supposed to get a title match, but Solo and Tama messed it up, caused him to get disqualified. So he kind of yelled at them in the background. And then another thing that caught my attention, because like Jake was yelling at them, so it was like, you need to watch your tone when you're talking to us. He said, all right, my bad, but the fact still remains, either I'm going to be champion with you, talking to Tama, pointing at Tama, or without you, pointing at Solo.
Oh, okay. I need to get. I'm gonna make sure I go back into making sure I watch all of that.
So like when you said that, I can see that happening. As far as like Solo going back to like his Solo character.
Yeah. Oh, it could be a story of who's gonna take the new leader spot for Bloodline 2.0.
Yeah, because there's still people to come in. Because Tama's brother,
you know how many freaking family members is in that?
Tama's brother just signed, and he hasn't been like on camera yet.
And there's another Fatu. I forgot his name. Is it Zilla?
Yeah, Zilla.
Fatu.
He's been teasing.
He's been talking about coming over here, and he has the flying spike.
Oh yeah.
Bro, that looks so lethal. I did a little bit of research and I see him do the move. I'm like, oh nah, I do not want to be on the receiving end like that. Not at all. You hit me with a spike, I'm gonna be like, all right, just go ahead and pin me, man. Just go ahead and just pin me. You got it. You got the match. You got it.
Leave me alone.
I'm done.
Like, with that being the case, how long do you see this Bloodline story going? Even though they kind of like, it's safe to say that it kind of fell off because like mostly everybody's doing their own thing now. Like Jay's doing his own thing, going for the title. Jimmy's doing his own thing. Mm-hmm. Then the only people that are together are Jacob, Solo, and Tama because Tonga's hurt.
Yeah. How far do I see it going?
Because they got like 1,000 more members of the family.
Man. As far like if we're keeping it within the core group, right? Like the core OG bloodline, I feel like they can keep this going a little bit longer because there's so much more layers to peel. There's so much more avenues to look at. You have the possible Jay and Jimmy coming back as a tag team storyline. You have the reigniting the bloodline altogether as a storyline. Having Roman and Jay kind of finally, pass the pass. I still love you. Let's still work. I still see you as my tribal chief. Yada yada. You can run the story of. You could rerun it back with Jay and Jimmy, with Jimmy kind of getting the push that Jay gotten. And getting into like the mid-card title, working himself up as a solo wrestler, and then having that, okay, let's run this back one more time.
That's where I thought they were going a couple months ago.
I was hoping so.
Because it would have been a good moment, especially after Jay wins the title. They could have had a moment like Eddie and Benoit had.
Yeah, that would have been great. But I don't know. Like I do want Jimmy to have some. I do want to see Jimmy have more success.
Yeah, I hope so. Because I don't want him... Because they're already starting to compare him to, like, Marty Jannetty.
Really?
Which I don't see that. Like,
I don't see that.
If I got to compare him to anybody, I'll compare him to Matt Hardy.
I was thinking about them.
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, especially since that brother versus brother match at WrestleMania, it made me immediately think about Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy. And I think it was WrestleMania 20... Was it 25?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 25.
Yeah, and like the match, honestly, that match was not even that bad to me. But I felt like I feel like they just dropped it ever since, and I was like, it would be nice for them to kind of like explore just a little bit more about the dynamics between it, because honestly, Jimmy was if I remember correctly, Jimmy was supposed to be the one to be the right hand man. But because it got hurt, Jay filled the role and he just took it and soared.
Yeah.
So I could see Jimmy like, okay, I'm back now. I still love you, bro. I still love you as my brother. I see you on your run. Now it's my turn to pick up my pace.
All right.
Now let me show the world what Jimmy Uso by himself can do as a solo competitor and start winning matches. Start becoming not main event Jimmy, but whatever. Keep King Jimmy, I guess. Keep King Jimmy.
they starting to call him Big Jim.
Yeah, Big Jim. Big Jim's in the build. Yo, Jim. Yo, let Jim win us a singles title. You ain't gonna hear. You gonna keep hearing it from me.
I feel like he deserves it.
He does.
Cause like even when they were like when they used to paint their faces, a lot of people gravitated more to Jimmy than Jay.
Yeah.
Like, I guess the fact that he was married helped. Married to Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
Cause he always had his own storylines. Because before he got hurt, Jay was the one getting hurt sometimes. So they kind of like switched the dynamic when they started the bloodline.
Huh. I never really thought about it that way. That's actually a good perspective to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Not have to ponder on that all tonight. Thanks. Man. Yeah, I do think I don't know how much longer it can go because it also seems like they're the only faction left to make stories out of. I definitely want to see. I don't want to see another. I don't want to necessarily see another civil war, but I would like to see some stories about some of the members going after certain things, like the Ulufala, a title, kind of like. In a way, kind of have like some. I guess it's a civil war, but like miniature ones, and just see how that just branches them out as individuals and also as teams. Like I would love to see another Bloodline tag team run. It don't even have to be the Usos. It can be Tama and Tonga running back to grab the tag titles.
I feel like they need it because I feel like I watched them in Japan, so I feel like they can definitely do something with that.
Definitely.
It don't have to be Bullet Club related. But just them two.
I would actually love to see a Bullet Club story.
I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
Look, you got three of the leaders in your company. You ain't telling me that you ain't not have one reaction or like one little segment.
The only time they tried it is with Anderson and Gallows. That's the only time they tried it. But
and AJ,
they keep getting fired. Yeah, AJ. So I was like, there's a lot they could do with that. They've had a lot of members from the Bullet Club come in. Yeah. And not to touch that. And
we are now in a position. We are now in a time where that stuff can be referenced now.
I think they have a few times, especially with the feud with AJ and Cody.
Yep, they definitely have. So just being able to see, AJ and Tonga and all of Tama and Tonga, yes. I definitely would love to see more Bloodline, Bullet Club references, stories involving that. Because truth be told, like that's still part of wrestling. Yeah. Even though it's not in WWE, and I think that was probably one of my biggest gripes with WWE is that they always try to stay secluded when the wrestling world is so vast. You can make so many stories and make so much money if you had just include somebody's wrestling past. Yeah. And make a story off of that. It's like all the stories are literally right there. You just keep choosing not to take it.
They're trying to, cause I feel like they try too hard to be their own universe. Yeah. Like you can include stuff and still be good. Like right. There's no harm in giving other people credit.
Literally nothing wrong, because especially since they're coming back better than ever too. Yeah. Might as well include it, because somebody's gonna ask, well, wasn't he there before? What happened? He left. He left, revitalized, came back. Well, are we gonna talk about that? Nope. Oh.
Especially like people coming from AEW, like not to bring up NXT again, but Ricky Saint. His new name, Ricky Saints.
Ricky Saints.
Yeah.
Ricky Saints and Ethan Page.
Oh yeah.
Yo.
I like that.
Yo, that's like we won't get into it, but that segment though, and hearing those chants, I can't be mad at it.
No.
I can't be mad at it. You got 2 gems right there, and you totally blew it.
3, Sean Spears.
True. Yeah. yeah. Sean Spears too. I'm glad to see Sean Spears still getting work though.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that. He was really good. I will definitely love to see more of him too. So we still have Cody and John to talk about. However, we also have Kevin and Randy Orton. That match being canceled because Kevin is injured. Unfortunately. So now, who's going to be Randy's opponent? Who could be Randy's opponent?
I have 2 options that I've thought about. So
I have 1.
Either Nick Aldis.
That was my 1. That was my 1.
Either Nick Aldis, which I feel like is a strong possibility, or Aleister Black. He's been teasing coming back at some point. But I do agree with you. I think Nick Aldis is probably like a better, more intriguing choice.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it works mainly because him and Randy already have something going on between them two.
Yeah.
Because this is like the second time he's RKO'd Nick for legitimately no reason.
Hey, to be fair, he did warn him. When he gave him that check, it's supposed to be $50,000, but he gave him $100.
Yeah.
He said
that's for the next time.
time.
That's for the next time. I hope they reference that. But like, if I remember correctly, Nick was IWGP champion for like 4 years.
Mm-hmm. If not, yeah, he's been IWGP. I know he's been
NWA champion. Sorry, NWA.
Okay, yeah.
He's not IWGP. It's been NWA champion for also a record of over 2,000. He did it. He pulled Roman's reign before Roman pulled the reign. And I remember he did an interview with Chris. I don't know if I could say his name, but I'll just say Chris for now. But he didn't, and he talked about the possibility of wrestling again. And then from what if my memory serves me right, he did mention that he would be open to it, but he's comfortable being in the general manager role. So if him being the surprise wrestler, and he's still in good shape. He's still in great shape too. So if he could come back for like, even if it's like a one-off match, I'm sold. I'm sold.
Like knowing what he did in NWA and TNA, which I feel like that's perfect because they had got the partnership with TNA, so that's a perfect way to call that back. Because usually they wouldn't even talk about it back then, but now they have a reason to. So I feel like that's something good for like the culture of wrestling.
That would be great.
Especially with Randy, how he's known for being a legend killer. He's a legend over there, and somewhere else, an outsider essentially.
Ooh, I didn't even think of that either. See, the story writes itself. It writes itself. Now, Aleister Black though, I think Aleister Black would be a really good choice too. Technically, they're pulling another AEW debut on WrestleMania. The first one was Cody.
Oh yeah.
Wait, when did Jay debut? She didn't debut at WrestleMania, did she?
Nah, she was
Royal Rumble. She was Royal Rumble. So if Aleister Black comes in as a surprise, I think people will go crazy over that. I think people will go insane. Rusev also is in talks about coming back to WWE.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
So it could be Rusev. Rusev Day. It could be Rusev Day all over again.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
That would.
Like, there's a lot they can do with that. Because, like you said, they could create the magic with the Seth Rollins not knowing who his opponent might be. Mm-hmm. And it being somebody from AEW or maybe somebody we haven't even heard about yet.
Yeah. It could be a rising star out of NXT. It could be Trick Williams. Honestly, it could be the guy in NXT that people are talking about as like the second coming of Randy Orton.
Oh yeah.
That would actually be interesting. That would be a nice little match for him. Who else would I like to see? I don't know. Joe Hendry.
I would love to see it, but I don't know if it would happen.
I don't think it would happen. I'm just throwing the name out there.
Because I don't think that they're bold yet to have like a TNA star on the main roster big shows. Of course, they had him in the Royal Rumble. Everybody's allowed to be there.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan Grace was in it.
Yeah. But I feel like they kind of like saving the TNA stars for NXT, which I would love to see them in the main roster because a lot of them have experience with people in the main roster.
Yeah. Like Nick Nemeth, for example. He's now in TNA. I think he just dropped the TNA World Title to Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
I would love to see him come back to WWE for, even if it's like a one-off match. That would be great.
I would like to see the Hardy Boys do something.
That would too, especially now with Jeff being healthy.
Yes.
That would be a phenomenal callback. And bringing the TNA tag titles with them.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That would be fire. See, now there's also Drew and Damian. They supposedly gonna have a match on the card. I'm speculating. It hasn't been confirmed yet. I don't know, man.
A lot of people don't like the fact that he's having a match with Damian, but I personally don't mind it. 'Cause I feel like it's a chance for Drew to get redemption from last year. You know, he had the title, only held it for 5 minutes, and then Damian cashed in his Money in the Bank.
Yeah, true.
And I don't think he's beat Damian since.
I don't think he has.
So I feel like that is a good element to that story, even though people don't want to see it as much. But I feel like it's justified, in my opinion.
I can see the reasoning for it. It kind of feels a little out of place.
Well,
a little bit. I have nothing against Damon or Drew. I love both of them. They're both really great wrestlers. I guess I don't see where it's going, which is probably a good thing. But it seems like they just threw them at each other without anything to work off of.
Yeah, true. Like when it started, it seemed kind of random. Even though I saw when they tried to like build on it at the Royal Rumble when Damian eliminated Drew.
Yeah.
But I like how they tried to add some type of something to it when it kind of started referencing how every time Drew could have beat Damian, he lost because he was distracted by Punk or Seth or whoever.
Yeah.
And ended up losing to Damian. So it's like he has this thing hanging over his head. He's never beat Damian Priest, even though he's not technically on his level. So how can you say you're better than this person but you never beat him?
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, let that be the story. Like I said, the story writes itself. Okay, matter of fact, we'll save that for another episode when it comes about booking. But Cody and John, this is probably a dream match for sure.
Yeah. The two Captain America-like figures in wrestling.
Captain America and
Homelander.
So with Cena turning heel. Well, hold on. Let me get your prediction first. What is your prediction on this match?
I kind of want Cena to win. I see him winning. I don't care how, but I can see different things happening that would allow him to win.
Okay.
Especially with him being heel, he might find a way to cheat, whether it's by himself or with The Rock.
Now,
let me jump in there.
Okay.
Just like Devon was saying, I can see Cena winning, taking the belt home, and then WWE goes back to only having one championship.
He did say that too.
So just having the World Heavyweight Championship being the only title.
Yeah, like he takes it, and and retires that championship.
Ooh. Well, okay, so that's actually gonna segue. That's gonna bring up another question then, because we've seen WWE have one title. We've seen them work with one title being shared on both brands. We've seen them having two separate titles. Do you think WWE is in a capacity right now to be able to work with just one main title?
Right now, like I think this goes back to what I was saying earlier, the relevance of the championship. Like I think that we've seen these championships too, cause like sometimes like I forget who has the belt. Like it get to the point where the storylines aren't there, cause like every so often like I keep forgetting that Gunter has the belt. Like the fact that I think y'all talked about it. Like their build up to that this match coming up and everything, it just hasn't been there, except for the last where he bloodies up Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just have not feel it, and I think that goes to the point where we're asking why isn't he in the main event? Like the build up isn't there, and the fact that Gunter has that belt, like I don't see any relevance in the belt right now. So like having one belt, I feel might have where it builds up the relevance where everybody's fighting for that, and possibly going back to where the Brock era where the champion only comes every so often, and you see people fighting to become number one contender. Like that's how I see it right now. Is like we have to find some way to make the championships relevant, and like right now, like every so often, like I almost forgot that LA Knight had the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how boring the storylines have been. Like you forget who has the title.
I feel like the only way for that to work is if the only way to for it to work that way in order to have that relevance is that people on both brands need to actually want to fight for the title, and we've seen that done when Brock held the Universal title. We've seen that not done when Roman held the title. He will hold the title. We didn't have the World Heavyweight title at the time. Technically, anybody from any brand could challenge him, yet nobody. It seemed like nobody was really trying to, and didn't seem like there was any booking ideas for someone to try to either. At least as often as I feel they should have. So, in order for that to work, I feel like people need to actually try to go for the number one spot. That's the only way I can see that working.
Yeah, a lot of the championship divisions are like kind of lackluster, in my opinion. Like especially the tag team title scene. Not so much on SmackDown. SmackDown's doing pretty good, but on Raw it's like, who's the champions? Like the War Raiders.
I think so.
I haven't seen them since they won.
What is up with WWE in the tag team division?
Unless I'm not paying attention, I haven't seen them since they won the titles. Like you could give it to the New Day. Give them something to legitimize them being a heel team.
I don't know. It's just booking's got to be like extremely hard because having to find fresh. I think it's really trying to find fresh ways to keep each division interesting with only a certain amount of time with so many people. Like you gotta find a way to make them all matter. And I know you're not always gonna get that because it's not a perfect world. But it's kind of getting to the point where it feels like you don't really care anymore.
Yeah, especially since they added more titles.
Yeah, and we keep adding more titles. It's just, what's the point?
Because like then you start to like fall short on competitors. Then like you seen the same 2-3 people go for the title.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's just no build up to them and everything, and like to actually have it where the title's relevant, like I said, like make number one contender matches more important and stuff instead of just like throwing somebody in there to be the number one contender. Like have people actually fight for that number one contender spot.
That's what I feel they need to do more of, and to get there, we need wrestlers to actively say, "Hey, I'm here to win the world title. I'm here to win championships." You don't have to win them all the time, but at least show that it's something worth fighting for. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Like, how do you expect me to care if y'all don't care?
Yeah.
Like, I think they just announced that they're going to have like a tournament or something for the women's tag team. And I'm sitting here, what women tag teams are there to actually have this tournament?
It's only one.
We don't really have a women's tag team.
It's only one official team on the roster right now. That I know of, yeah. That Kaden Carter and Katana Chance on like the only real team.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
I mean, you got Liv and Raquel.
I mean, they're the champions, so.
True. Yeah.
So it's like we had a team, but they broke up with Naomi and Bianca.
Naomi, Bianca, and Jade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think they definitely need to take the tag division a lot more seriously. Tag division tag team division is great. Tag team wrestling is great. I need them to see that.
I actually like Mitch and B-Fab being a tag team. Like, because like they've been showing them together and everything. I mean that they could be contenders, in my opinion.
They could work.
Yeah.
And B-Fab has been doing really good too. I
feel like they kind of dropped the ball because they had an opportunity to bring more teams as well, especially from NXT with Ep4, Jakar Jackson, and Last Legend. Mm-hmm. So that's one team they could have brought in.
I thought the transition was gonna happen sooner because of that.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but I don't know what happened.
I think
no, Jakar's hurt.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense then.
So that's one reason, but they still they have a plethora of women on NXT. They want to make more teams.
I saw a theory online that someone theorized that the reason why Jakara and Last Legend was so prominent on the main roster brand for a while, aside from going for the tag titles, was because they was helping Naomi get closer to Bianca.
That would have been
to get closer to the title, to the world title, to the women's world title, and if they can help her get it, she would make sure that they would get the tag titles. And I thought that was a crazy swerve.
I would love to see that.
I would love to see that, but if Jakara is hurt, we can't see that. So that would be fine. That would be dope.
That would have been a good build up. Right
yeah.
There. Like, especially like if they came to help her at WrestleMania.
They could do that.
They could. I didn't think about that. Because I was also wondering like what's going to be the next step for Naomi after this match.
I feel like she should have a faction, because I feel like they tried to do it back then with Team Bad, but I feel like they could do it again. Like especially with the character she has now, it's stronger now.
Yeah.
And that would definitely help build the character she's trying to create.
Yeah.
Having a team behind her. Even though I don't want to see that too much, but I definitely want to see that with her.
I think it will be good for her and good for them if they decide to go that route. It gives them something to do.
Mm-hmm. Especially with her being a vet and like they being new talent.
Yeah. And we know full well that Naomi is good for making sure the women are straight. They're good if they need anything. Naomi's got them. That's almost kind of the story that Naomi and Bianca. It seems like it's building towards that.
Mm.
So if that does happen, I'm all for it. I just want to see it. But back to Cody and John. For me, I wouldn't mind seeing Cena win at WrestleMania. I wouldn't mind seeing his 17th get it, or get his 17th at WrestleMania. But now knowing SummerSlam is going to be 2 nights, you're kind of gonna need a big monumental moment to solidify that. So I think it will make more sense for Cena to win it at SummerSlam, and then let Cody re-win it back sometime later. But at the same time, I also feel this heel turn has to be worth it.
Yeah.
It has to be worth it, especially for a person like Cena. So I don't know. It's like I can see how it can work on both ends.
Yeah.
But do I think it will be better in the long run if he wins now? I don't know. I can't say for sure.
I feel like, as far as him being heel and it being fresh, I feel like one argument for him winning is the fact that he hasn't won a match in a while, like almost 3 years.
And that's another thing. The fact he hasn't been winning matches since he returned for a while. Like, can you really say this man can really be champion? He's not the same John from when he used to be.
No.
And I'm not saying he ain't got it, because he does.
Yeah.
He hasn't won. He hasn't won any 1v1s since he got back.
So I feel like, yeah, it's kind of like one of those, not really make or break, because he's John Cena. It's not going to hurt him too much, but it still would get people talking.
But is it best for business? That's what John said. He says it's best for business for him to walk away with the 17th title. I don't know.
So how you feel about the build up to the match with Cena and Cody?
I'm enjoying it, honestly. It makes me intrigued for what's to come next week. Mm-hmm. Crazy enough, the main thing I really want to know that no one's ever brought up or talked about, whether it's Cena, whether it's Cody, or anybody else, is why he chose to side with Rock.
Yeah, I feel like that is a good question, because it's like, I don't feel like he would need to go to that level.
No, he doesn't.
To get what he wants. And at the same time, it's like, we've only seen him for that moment. We haven't seen The Rock since he turned heel. Most of the promos have been about why he turned heel.
Yeah.
Which I understand, because like that's kind of a moment within itself.
It is. At the same time, it's like we seen Rock do this to Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a already agreed plan. If Cody said no, you know what to do.
Yeah.
And for someone like Cena to stay true to the values of loyalty and honesty and respect, well, hustle, loyalty, respect, but I also wanted to add honesty, because he always seemed to be true to his word and doing the right thing. Why did you side with somebody like The Rock? Why Rock, of all people? Mm. Like, if you had told me that you just got tired, it's been like a long build-up. You've been holding on to it. You kind of released it when you started doing movies, but then every time you come back, it's still there. And you felt like the love is fake, and you just said, screw it, I'm done. Without The Rock, I would have been like, I can't. I don't think I could in my right mind, in a way, argue with that.
Right.
Like this dude's been holding, let's go Cena sucks for nearly who knows how long. People love him. People hate him. He gets a lot of hate all the time, and he's been taking it on the chin and smiling. Mm-hmm. So after all that, what made you decide to go with Rock? Yeah. And that's not been touched at all.
Because it leads, even if he answers, it'll still lead to more questions. I feel like, because like I said, he doesn't need The Rock.
He don't. I'm surprised nobody asked this question. Like, this is like the biggest question out of this entire storyline. Why did you decide to choose? Maybe we'll find out after Mania.
Maybe. And I also feel like maybe he's going for cheap heat while they were in like Europe, because they pop for anything. It doesn't matter. So he'll do the lazy stuff, just saying he hates the fans now. He doesn't like how they treated him while they're there. Maybe start picking up when he gets back to the States.
Maybe.
That was my hope for it, but we'll see what happens there.
Man, I'm looking forward to the match. I really want to know why he decided to go with The Rock.
I got a better question. Why was Travis Scott out there?
You see that punch he landed? Man, so someone told him to pull back his punches.
The whole time I was like, why is he still out there? I understand him coming out just to show his face or whatever, play the song.
Yeah.
Why
but
is
he stayed the whole way.
Like, why
I don't know. And why did he decide to go be healed?
He was just with Jay like 3 weeks ago. Like
I'm not gonna say he felt out of place, but he definitely made me question, like, why are you still here?
All right, like, what are you doing, bro?
Go
backstage now. Go
on to the back. You did your part.
I like what he tried to do though, because when he had at Raw when he had the blunt, he was smoking the blunt. They try to say it was sage.
Yeah.
But then he came up with actual sage that time. I was like, I see what you're trying to do, but going somewhere.
Yeah. Please. Please.
I kind of hope he don't come back. Like, I know he's gonna be at Mania because they using his song for it. But outside of that,
he probably gonna hit another sage.
But I would like to see if The Rock shows up, because he's been confusing all year, to be honest.
Bro, he flip flops for me.
He been drinking too much tequila before shows.
I might do that. just see what happens. Maybe I'll like Rock when he shows up if I have tequila in me. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that's all I got for now.
Yeah, same here.
All right. Well, that was our first episode involving WrestleMania. I guess we can give one final prediction for all the matchups, at least for the ones we want to see, and then we'll let you guys we'll cut it there.
Okay.
So for me, we have Jay and Gunther. I'm gonna say I want Jay to win, but I think Gunther's gonna retain. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I would like to see Jay win, but it's kind of up in the air.
Okay. Let's see. Naomi versus Jade. I'm gonna go with Naomi. I want Jade to win, but I love you, Jade. But I want Naomi. I think you're gonna win.
Yeah, I think Naomi deserves a win. Like she's been putting in work for too long to keep losing, especially on a big show like Mania.
Okay. Let's see. Who else we got? We got Drew and Damian, if that does get confirmed.
It don't matter to me, to be honest.
Okay.
I think it'd be a good match, but it don't matter who wins. I feel like they both could do something with it.
I'm gonna go with Drew just for the sake of it.
Yeah. That's right.
AJ and Logan.
I'm going for AJ.
I'm going for AJ. I don't think Logan's winning. I'm going with AJ. I think AJ's gonna wrestle circles around Logan.
Yeah.
Io and Bianca.
If it's a singles match, Bianca. If it's a triple threat, I don't know.
I'm gonna go Bianca all the way. I'm going Bianca all the way. We gotta keep that streak alive. Who else we got?
We got Seth Roman and Punk. That one.
Seth Roman, Punk.
I kind of want Punk.
I think that's like the one match that you can't go wrong.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. But if I had to pick one, I'm going Punk.
If I have to pick one, If I have to pick one, I don't know. Because it's like it's bad blood either way. I'm gonna go with Roman.
And then who else we got?
That one kind of hurt. Jacob and LA Knight.
Oh, Jacob all day.
Jacob all day. Then we got Tiffany and Charlotte. I'm going with Tiffany.
Yeah, I don't care who wins, but I'm going for Tiffany too.
I'm going for Tiffany. And then we have Cody and John.
I would like to see. I want to see John win. I want to see him get 17, while it's still. It's gonna matter all year, but it makes more sense for it to happen at Mania.
Okay. I'm gonna be on the opposite side, and I'm gonna say I'm going with Cody. I'm gonna go with Cody. If John wins, I'm not gonna be upset about it.
Right.
But I'm gonna go with Cody.
I feel it'd be interesting if Cody wins because actually, I seen a thing where they say Cody is approaching Cena's record as champion.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And what?
Like how long the reign was. I think like Cena had his longest reign as champion was like 380 days.
Really?
Somewhere around that area, and Cody's getting close to it.
Nah, hold on. That don't even sound right. John Cena's longest title reign. Are you sure? 380 days. Whoa. Really? He held it from September 17th, 2006 to October 2nd before vacating it due to injury. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I can see that.
So that would definitely be interesting, especially if Cody wins. That would be something to hold over Cena's head.
Yep. Shot. I'm going with Cody. I'm sticking to Cody. I'm sticking to it. Is there anybody else on the card?
As far as what's confirmed.
Oh, okay. Randy versus potential opponent. I'm going with Nick Aldis.
Yeah, if it's Nick, shoot. I don't know. I'm gonna say Randy. To be on the safe side, I'm gonna say Randy.
So who's gonna be the winner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then definitely Randy.
Okay, so yeah, the winner, the opponent. Yeah, I want Nick to be his opponent.
Yeah, I think Nick will be the opponent, but I think Randy's gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm gonna say this: if Alistair comes back, I think he's winning. But if Nick is the opponent, I'm gonna say Randy's gonna win.
Okay.
Yeah, those are my predictions.
What about tag team matches? There are some tag team matches, but nothing is really confirmed as far as like what the actual match is. Okay, matter of fact, I'll tell you the champions, and I guess we can decide if they're gonna keep the titles or. Oh shoot, we forgot about one.
Who?
Penta and Braun Breaker.
Oh, Braun gonna steam. I'm sorry. I love Penta, but Braun's gonna break that man in half.
Oh man. And then as far as tag team champions, we got the Street Profits.
I think they're gonna retain.
Okay. Then we also got the War Raiders. I hope they lose. I don't care who they facing.
Damn.
I don't care. They ain't did nothing with it.
I mean, hey, you're right. They are.
I think they teased them actually fighting New Day.
Okay.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, most definitely. I want New Day getting that one. And then
I'm gonna leave that up in the air.
And then Liv and Raquel. I feel like they're gonna keep the titles.
I think they're gonna keep it.
Ain't really no team.
Yeah, who's really gonna be there to take it from them?
Like I said though, I don't know. I like the team with Michin and B-Fab, but I say the only team that's like legitimate as a team are Kenny Carter and Katana Chance. They're former champions too.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a strong case, even though I still don't see them winning.
I mean,
And I
that's
love
if the
Kagan
match
too.
even that's if even the match even gets confirmed.
Yeah.
But I think Liv and Raquel is just gonna keep the titles regardless anyway.
I feel like it's more so just to give them something to do.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to our WrestleMania special. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Devon.
And we are signing off for now. Tune in next time.